We're at the site of what we call the boiler pond. Right behind me, behind this stone wall, there's a large pond, and right now it's filled with water. This is a very interesting site. Not only does it mark a gold rush operation, but it also marks a change in California law, a very historic change. What happened was that right after the initial gold rush, gold was harder and harder to find, and more people had to work to find it. So companies were formed, companies backed by money and by investors, and it took some money to get a lot of ground out of the earth. Back in those days, gold was selling for $19 an ounce. It would take about 350 cubic yards of dirt to get 1 ounce of gold. In order to get that much dirt as efficiently as possible, people decided to try to wash it off the hillside. So they used a process called hydraulicking. Hydraulicking took its toll. Behind me, as we'll see, a lot of the hillside had been washed away. And with the site where we are now shows how they did it. Over to my left, there is a notch, a circular notch that's placed in this stone wall in which a boiler stood. The boiler is referred to as a SteamDonkey. It's technology that dates well before the gold rush and was used in logging trees up in the mountains. The SteamDonkey provided the energy necessary to force water through the canvas pipes over to the hillside behind me, and then from there wash down the hillside. The dirt from the hillside would be washed then into sluice boxes and into streams that would go into sluice boxes, and gold would be mined out of that position. That technology, that hydraulicking, reached a high point in the disruption of the land that was involved in 1884 in a place called Malakoff Diggings. In the Malakoff Diggings, so much hillside was washed down that the Yuba River and then San Francisco Bay began to fill up. Orchards were inundated, flooded, because there was so much silt in the riverbed, water couldn't wash through normally. And in 1884, a judge named Sawyer, federal district court judge, decided that all of this had to stop. In the landmark decision of Dunsmuir versus North Bloomfield Mining District, the judge decided that if you're going to do this to the land, you're going to pay for it, or you're going to make sure that you don't do it anymore. So we have a point in time where all of the hydraulicking in California came to a crashing halt. And we date this site likely to about then, 1884.